the three major points, especially for community organisations, are there. It is cheap, it's easy to access, and the third word is it's local. Having decided what it is you want to say, what your message is, what action do you want the listeners to take as a result of hearing your interview?
You know, you've got to be passionate about it, because that makes people hear and react.
So, and the other end is, you know, you're supplying them with free content. Never forget that. You also, you know, to a certain extent, you may be doing them a favour. They've got a 5-minute space to fill at 7:45 in the morning. I know, let's get that in. So, as well as making it enthusiastic, it's got to be interesting. A mistake, some people think, yeah, that's great, I'm going to get on the local BBC radio station, I'm going to do this wonderful interview. You go on there and do it, and you've been doing it promoting your local youth club for 17-year-olds to 19-year-olds. What's the problem with BBC local radio during the daytime? It's 55 plus. So it's quite important that you do realise who the audience are. And if you're not sure, ask them. Depending on the angle of the story, of your interview story, you need to think about the questions beforehand.
I actually don't want the questions directly, because I can, my response is a bit more spontaneous, rather than I might have learnt something off, you know, and it's a bit cold then.
So the interviewer, as I said, will be skilled in their job and they will have their own agenda and angle. Is that quite often you may find that what you say is clicked out and used again. Try to keep your answers short, simple and to the point. You know, at the spur of the moment, can you remember the contact phone number, the email address, the website address? Have you got it off? Write it down. It's not a problem. And just have all those key facts in there. There are different styles, and the most obvious one is the face-to-face interview, where you're taken into the studio, or they may come to you. They may send their roving reporter out with his handy mic and come and do an interview in the home, or in the workplace, or at the organisation headquarters, or whatever else. You do need to be in control of the situation. So all those preparation things are quite important. They probably have a different agenda, even if it's just filling 5 minutes. Because you might be the 93rd voluntary organisation they've interviewed in the last 5 weeks. So from their point of view, one voluntary organisation is just like the next one. They sound genuine, but then they're paid to sound genuine. There's no such thing as off the record. If you say to them something off mic, it may well bounce back onto you on mic. So be very careful about what you do say. And I suppose allied to that really is make sure you've got your facts right and double check them and be prepared to argue that you have got them correct. And that's fine, but as soon as you open your mouth, your tongue and your lips will conspire against you. And that word that you've read and you've said out loud perhaps at numerous occasions just won't come out right. So practice the sorts of key things you want to say by speaking out loud. Avoid jargon and cliches. They just sound naff. There's no other way of saying it really. I mean, there may well, but there may also be particular terms that you use within your organisation, especially if it's a very specialist organisation, that are relevant to your organisation, relevant to the people you're supporting, that sort of thing. But actually to the general public, does it mean anything? Knowing who you are, you've got to allow your personalities to carry through what you want said.